The truth is, you were never taught to navigate this market. Now you are. Today is the day you take back the ability to understand your own body. You don't need more pills, you just need clearer guidance. If you know someone over 50 who's been feeling tired, foggy, or not like themselves, share this video with them. It might finally explain what they've been missing. And if you want the full guide to all 11 barriers and how to fix them, you can download it right below. And because all of this arrives at the same time as the number on your birthday cake goes up, it's easy to shrug it off and say, that's just age. But here's the truth no one explains. Your body isn't simply slowing down. It's speaking a different language, a language you were never taught to understand. And many of the symptoms you think are normal aging are actually signs that your body can't use the nutrients you're giving it. Not because you're not taking vitamins, but because the vitamins can't get past the barriers inside you. This is why so many older adults take B12 faithfully and still feel drained. They aren't deficient in the pill. They're deficient in absorption. Yet most people stay reassured because their yearly blood test says everything looks normal. They stop asking questions. They assume they already know enough. And that illusion of certainty keeps them stuck for years. There's a reason older adults place so much trust in those routine lab results. For decades, blood work has been treated like a universal truth, a simple test that reveals everything. But in reality, most tests only measure what floats on the surface, not what your cells are actually using. This creates a quiet gap. People believe the numbers, even when their symptoms are telling a completely different story. Once you understand this gap, you begin to see why so many deficiencies go undetected until they become severe. And that brings us to the first hidden barrier, the one most people never think about, yet it shapes everything that happens next. Let's break it open. When you start looking closely, it becomes clear that B12 doesn't fail because your body needs more of it. It fails because it keeps getting stopped at one of many internal gates. And the first gate is timing. B12 is a stimulant for your nervous system. If you take it in the evening, it wakes the brain when it should be shutting down, leaving you restless at night and exhausted the next day. So even before absorption comes into the picture, the clock is already working against you. The second gate is dosage. Most people assume the number on the bottle is enough. But your gut absorbs only a tiny fraction of what you swallow. A small dose may look fine on paper, yet it barely makes it through the digestive system. This is why low-dose B12 often leads to chronic, lingering fatigue even when taken daily. Then comes the genetic gate. Around half of older adults carry variations of the MTHFR gene. This mutation doesn't stop B12 from entering your body, it stops your cells from activating it. So no matter how much synthetic B12 you take, it stays in a form your cells cannot use. That's why some people see no change until they switch to methylated forms. The fourth gate is the type of B12 you choose. Cyanocobalamin is still sold everywhere because it's cheap and stable. But your liver must strip away a cyanide molecule before you can use it. For a younger body, that step isn't a big deal. For an older body with slower detox pathways, it becomes another barrier. Natural forms like methylcobalamin don't require this extra work, they go straight to action, and this is exactly where injections make sense. When B12 can't get past the digestive system, the acid barrier, the gene barrier, or the liver barrier, an injection simply bypasses all of it. It goes straight into the bloodstream, which is why many older adults feel clearer and more energized within days, not weeks. Injections aren't a last resort for people with absorption issues. They're often the most direct path back to normal function. The fifth gate is testing, or rather, the false reassurance many people get from it. Standard blood tests often show normal B12 even when the cells are starving. This is where the confusion begins. Serum B12 reflects what floats in your blood, not what enters your cells. MMA and homocysteine reveal the truth. Whether your body is actually using B12 or simply carrying it. When these markers rise, it means the normal number on your test is hiding a deeper deficiency. Understanding these three markers is the key to seeing what's really happening inside. The sixth gate lies in the stomach. As you age, stomach acid declines, and without strong acid, B12 can't be released from food. It stays trapped, undigested, and unusable. This is why older adults with low acid often feel weak even when eating well. The seventh gate is calcium. B12 and calcium use the same pathways in the small intestine. When they enter together from a morning glass of milk or a calcium supplement, calcium wins the competition and blocks B12 from entering the bloodstream. The eighth gate is the network of supporting nutrients. B12 doesn't work alone. It teams up with folate and B6 to run essential processes in the body. Without these partners, the whole system bottlenecks, no matter how much B12 you take. And this is where most people misunderstand their symptoms. Tingling, brain fog, or sudden fatigue often aren't signs of age. They're signs of a system missing one or more of the cofactors needed to let B12 do its job. Once you see it this way, the patterns make more sense. The ninth gate sits in the gut. Overgrowth of unwanted bacteria known as SIBO steals B12 before you can absorb it. These bacteria feed on the nutrients you think you're giving yourself. The 10th gate is dietary choices. Red meat is the richest natural source of B12, yet many older adults avoid it out of habit or fear, unknowingly cutting off the easiest source of the vitamin their body needs. And the final gate is expectation. B12 repairs nerves, builds new red blood cells, and resets metabolic pathways. These processes take time. A few days of supplements can't undo months or years of deficiency. But once the barriers are cleared, progress becomes visible steadily and reliably. These 11 gates explain why so many people take B12 every day, yet still feel tired, foggy, or unsteady. It's not a lack of effort, it's the presence of barriers no one ever taught them to look for. You know, after walking through all those barriers, something important becomes clear. Your body isn't failing you. It's not breaking down, and it's not working against you. What's really happening is simpler, and in many ways, more compassionate than most people realize. Your body is speaking a new language, one you were never taught to understand. For most of your life, your systems operated in a predictable way. Energy stayed steady, sleep came easily, nerves responded quickly. After 50, the same systems don't disappear, they just communicate differently. Signals you used to ignore, like a brief moment of dizziness, a flutter in your chest, or a tingling in your hands, suddenly carry new meaning. And because no one ever explained this shift, many people assume it's weakness, age, or decline. But it isn't. It's simply biology changing gears. B12 is just one example of this shift. The digestive system, the nervous system, the way your blood cells form, the speed at which your body repairs itself, all of it follows new rules after midlife. And when you understand those rules, your health can turn around much faster than you think. There's a saying in geriatric medicine, age doesn't break the body, misunderstanding does. And once you start seeing these changes as signals rather than failures, you gain something powerful: control. Control to adjust, to respond, and to rebuild the strength you thought you were losing. Your body isn't giving up. It's asking you to listen differently. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, the confusion around B12 isn't your fault. For decades, the supplement market has worked on old habits, old science, and old assumptions. Most products were created at a time when safe was considered the same as effective. And because nobody explained the difference, millions of people kept buying whatever was on the shelf, trusting the label, without ever being taught how to choose what actually works. This is where Cyanocobalamin comes in. It's still everywhere not because it's the best form, but because it's cheap, stable, and easy to mass produce. The system only requires a product to be not harmful at normal doses. It doesn't require it to be the form your body uses well. So people keep buying it, brands keep making it, and the cycle repeats for years. But once you understand what's really happening, the path forward becomes clear. You can choose methylcobalamin instead of the outdated forms. You can read your tests correctly. You can decide whether injections make sense for your situation. And most importantly, you can stop guessing and start choosing based on how your body actually works. The truth is, you were never taught to navigate this market. Now you are. Today is the day you take back the ability to understand your own body. You don't need more pills, you just need clearer guidance. If you know someone over 50 who's been feeling tired, foggy, or not like themselves, share this video with them. It might finally explain what they've been missing. And if you want the full guide to all 11 barriers and how to fix them, you can download it right below.